Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. Today I'm going for another kind of long video, such as others that I already done before, and today I will focus on pens that are green but not plain green, just that. It is a kind of criteria to use here. Through this video I think I will show you some pens that I showed you before in other videos, but this is the way I'm starting to do things, because I think there will be videos on my channel that will be useful, because you can know a specific review of a specific pen or to solve out a specific problem, and there are other videos that I will call that are more for kind of entertainment or just for watching pens, maybe to sleep while I'm doing this. But this is one kind of those videos. It's just for you to get to know some pens that I have and that I want to show you, just that. So let's start, and let me warn you, I will not do any writing samples, anything. I will just show you the pens. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about them if they have a particular history to me, and you'll be seeing pens that are very inexpensive to more expensive pens that I have. So let's start. They are all in front of me. They are quite a few, more than 20. Okay, let's start. First one is this. This pen is a kind of pen without any special branding. It was sold as Gianti, and that brand was like a gift pen brand, and it was available a few years ago. It was very common as a gift, and a friend gave me this pen. It has one of those iridium point Germany nibs, so I think this pen really is a Chinese pen that was branded as Gianti, and it was a pen that was given, it was sold as a gift. So this is a cartridge converter pen, a very simple one, but it is nice, and it has a special value because it was a friend that gave this pen to me. The next pen is another Chinese pen, but this one is clearly Chinese, and it is a Vingsung 627, and I have to say it is one of the worst experience I had with Chinese fountain pens. It has this nice material, green, but this pen, and I made you that video, I have a series of videos called Pen Failure. I don't like to do them because I'm showing failures of pens, but I really had to do that because this pen is a failure in terms of construction. It has this barrel that has the threads made of a soft plastic, very thin and soft plastic, that go into this metal section, and it has a nib that is quite nice, I have to say. I like the nib of this pen, so I may use this for a special project. I will tell you about that someday. And this broke. You can see I can go over and start again because this broke somewhere there and there. Look, like this. It's just garbage. The nib is quite good, I have to say. This came with two nibs. I had this problem. I contacted the seller on eBay. He sent me a new barrel for the pen, and this is the second barrel that broke, obviously, because this is a construction failure. However, I have two nibs because it came with an extra nib, so I have two very good nibs that I will do something with them one day. The next pen is this. This is a Moonman M600S, and it has a color that is quite nice. It's more like a teal than specific green. It is a copy of a Parker Centennial Duofold, very similar in design. I will discuss that someday. And it has a green, like a marbled green pattern. There is another very heavy inspiration in a Parker Centennial Duofold, which is this one. And this is the Jinhao Centennial, even the name is the same, and it has a very beautiful green pattern. It is the same kind of pen as the previous one, but it is very, very beautiful. I really like these pens, I like the size of them, very comfortable, and really they give you the writing experience of a much more expensive pens. But when you buy pens, you're not buying just the performance, you're also buying the effective or the subjective part of it, and you give an extra value when you know that the brand is really important. In this case, Parker has a very important place in fountain pen history. Now let's go. Let me see, because I have two pens out of order here. The next one is this. Also, this is a Conklin Duragraph. However, this pen is quite similar to a Parker Centennial Duofold. Yes, you're right, this is inspired in the vintage look by Conklin, but the truth is, Conklin, as many other brands at the time, made copies of the Parker Duofold. We are talking about the Big Red, this one, the vintage one. They made some copies of that design, and those were available then. Now we talk a lot about copying and new copies, but I have to say that Conklin, Schiffer, they also copied the Parker Duofold. Then I have a pen that I did not decide what to do with it, which is this one. This is a green, kind of. It is quite discolored. It is also a Conklin, but a vintage one. This is a Conklin Nozac. And this pen was from my great-grandfather, and it is interesting because I would say that this color has kind of a military pattern, and he was a military of the Portuguese army, and he fought in the World War I on the Allies side. So Portugal was in that war, not in the World War II, but in World War I. And he was there, and he left, when he died, he left this pen to my father, to my grandfather, and then it passed to my father, and my father, because he knows I like pens, he gave it to me. So it has that special value. But this pen is mostly broken, I would say. The parts are coming out like these. Somewhere the threads of the barrel or the cap, I'm not sure, the cap doesn't stay in place securely anymore. It's quite strange. So the pen is in quite bad shape, but it has the beautiful Conklin nib with that crescent there, and this nib is quite springy, I would say flexible. So I would really like to use this pen. I would like to repair it, but I don't really know how, because I think there are problems with the celluloid or the kind of plastic it is made from. So I need to check this. One day at that store in Lisbon that sells used stuff, I saw a Conklin Nozac for €2.75 or €2.95 for under €3, and it was a Conklin Nozac, the same color, the same pattern, the same pen, but in a much better shape. You can see it closes perfectly. This is good. Maybe the seal is not good. I never tried it with water, so maybe the seal doesn't work on the piston, but I think everything else works. However, the nib is not the original nib for this pen. I think you can see it is a Degussa nib, which are quite good, but not the original nib. So one thing I thought about was to have this barrel that is in good condition and just put the old nib or the original nib in the other Nozac that I bought for €3. However, it would have my great-grandfather's nib here, but it wouldn't be his pen. So this is the easiest to repair, just to change the nib. But is that fair to the history of the pen, to the memory of the pen? I wouldn't mind it. It would make sense for me, because overall it would be the same thing. If he was alive and he sent the pen back for repair, maybe they would just replace some parts. It's how life goes, but I don't know. This is something that I need to think about. So if you have any opinions, let me know. What would you do if it was your family pen there? Now we jump from the United States with Conklin. These are piston fillers. These two are piston fillers. All the others are cartridge converter pens. And now we jump to the other side of the world, to India, and I have here a Wality. And this pen is interesting. It is an Indian pen that has a Wality nib, not very big, made of steel, which has a very specific shape, and there is no filling system. You have an ink window there, but it has no filling system because it is an eyedropper pen. I don't use eyedropper pens a lot, but I find this pen nice. I bought it because it was inexpensive. My brother once was in India, so he bought me some pens. I think it is interesting. I never used it yet, but this is one of the pens that smelled very bad when I got them. This is another of. Actually, this was not given by my brother. No. I asked him to purchase them for me. This is not one of those he got me. I bought these from eBay some years ago. This one was one that he got me. And they smelled terribly. They smelled a little bit still, but not as bad as they did. Also, here you have an ink window. And this pen is a fellowship focus. I need to cover those pens there, otherwise it will focus that background. Fellowship Blackbird with a fellowship nib. So, with a bird there. Interesting. Also, a eyedropper pen. Did not use it yet. The next pen is also an Indian pen and very, very big. Sometimes I would say, some people would say maliciously, this doesn't look like a pen. It is made of hard rubber, mottled green and black hard rubber, and this is an eyedropper pen. I have this pen for some years. I bought it on an online store. It is a Varuna pen, Varuna Gajendra, it's the name of the model, and it has a small number 6 nib for the size of the pen. It is an eyedropper pen. I filled it with ink, with one of my favorite inks ever, the Montblanc Racing Green. It is discontinued now, and I used it for a while, then I just let it be. I got tired of using always the same pen, and then the ink dried inside. So this is full of dried Montblanc Racing Green ink. It's quite a precious ink, so I think I will one day put water inside, shake it well, and let the ink dissolve and write with the watery ink. Now we go from India and a little bit to the left to Russia, and we have this pen. This is a Benu pen, and I think this is called Minina. This was one of their first models with the mystical green, which is a very cold green color full of little speckles and glitter. It's a very unique pen. Number 5, Schmidt nib. Nothing special on the section, but the rest outside it's wonderful, very unique. This pen is also a cartridge pen. Now we go to another Benu. This is the Benu Supreme. This is a limited edition. You see there, limited and numbered. This pen was issued for the new year, from 2020, new year 2020, and it also has lots of shiny stuff going around. It was for New Year, but I would say this reminds me like a Christmas tree with lots of things going on there. More glitter. The base of it has some green glitter, and then there are the big one colored. This pen is amazing. This one has a bigger nib, number 6 nib, also made by Schmidt, and this is a cartridge converter pen. It is quite nice, but it's very flashy. Everyone will look at you if you use this pen. Also, if you use this pen, people will look at you with very strange eyes. Now, the next pen, I will dive now into the Portuguese flea market. The Lisbon flea market. I think there are more flea markets around Portugal, but the Lisbon one is the one that I go. And I bought some pens there over time. Some of them I don't know much about. I bought this very long time ago. I never used it. I never restored it. So it is around here. I don't know if I will ever do anything to these pens. And it is this. This pen has no branding. I don't know what it is. I just know that it is made in USA. It says there on the lever. It's not working. Obviously, it has parts of the sac rattling inside. It has an interesting pattern. It is like a sheet of celluloid that is wrapped and makes this pen. Here it just says, let me cover the pens on the background. It just says special alloy. So this is special, I would say, steel nib, simple pen. I think there is being some damage to the celluloid on this part, like that grazing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I will ever do anything to this pen, but it sits around until someday I decide to do something. I know you only see the half of the pens, but I'm not sure if I should cover all the background. The other pen that I have to show you is also came from the flea market, and it is this pen. Let me try to show you. It is also an English pen. Sorry, an American pen as far as I know, and it's called Pioneer. It has a DK there. I do not know a lot of these, but this one has a very vivid green color, and there is this seam there. I don't know much about this. If you know anything about this pen, please let me know. It has an interesting nib with that metal casing above. And I will jump to another, now back to Germany. I bought this pen one day at the store because they were available, they were not expensive, and this is an Aero pen, and it is a piston filler pen, very, very inexpensive. I bought it new. I bought 2 colors. I should have bought more for giveaways and such. It has this seam that is very visible there. You can see, I think, a seam there that runs all around that, and also here. You can even feel it with your fingernail. But this is a piston filler pen, quite inexpensive, and works. So I thought I paid about €5 for it. It has that senator nib, and it works. So I think this is an interesting and nice and inexpensive pen to have. Now, also from Germany, I have this pen that has no brand on it, and it has a beautiful pattern, green, and that kind of a pelican look, and it has a very strange steel nib, very small, and this pen was given to me by a friend that also enjoys pens, and it doesn't live in Lisbon, he lives in Porto, and he sent me this pen because I have another one with the same kind of pattern and I liked it, so he thought I might be interested, and he sent me the pen. The next pen is also from Germany, but this one came from the flea market, and this pen is oops, I hit the camera. It is a Aku, I would say, that is the name of the pen. It is made in Germany. It says Aku Pen 77. I can't find any information about this, but the pen is really, really beautiful. And this is one of the pens that I bought from flea market that I like the most. I really like it, just because I like it. It has the same kind of material, almost the same pattern as the one that was sent to me by my friend. So it's an interesting pen, but with a cigar shape and with a steel nib there. That is interesting because it doesn't have an iridium tip, or how you will call it, but it is rolled. It is rolled. The tip is rolled over to make the tip, and it is a button filler pen, and I like button fillers. And it is working because I let it dirty. Yes, I should care more about some of my pens, but I bought it. It is a button filler, which are one of the easiest ones to repair. So I got it and I have it there. I like it. I used it for some time, and now it is stored away for some time now. The next pen is also from Germany, and it is this one. It looks like a Parker Vacumatic, but it is a Lux pen with the horizontal stripes, but it has an ink window there, and it has the nib that says Lux. The interesting part of this nib is that it is really, really springy, and it is a piston filler, so not a Vacumatic. And we jump to more modern pens, and we have also from Germany the Kaweco Art Sport Metallic Green, which is a beautiful pen. I like it, quite expensive. This is the generation 3 of Art Sport from Kaweco, and we also have here the green and yellow Kaweco Art Sport. This one is very, very hard to find, also with a steel nib, a Kaweco steel nib, and it is an interesting pen. It has much more green than yellow, but I cannot say this is a plain green because it has these swirls. The next pen is very well known. We are talking here about horizontal stripes. Let's go for the vertical stripes, and they have a green Pelikan M800. A beautiful pen that I had with a medium nib that was a little bit too broad for me, but it was nice. It sang while I wrote with it, and one day one viewer asked me if I wanted to exchange the nib with his nib, so I did it. I made a video of that nib exchange. I talked a bit about it. So I have now this pen with a fine nib, and I'm not using that as much as I should, but I don't think I can use any pen as much as I should because I have lots of them. And now another pen. This pen was given by my mother some years ago, and this is a Waterman Reflex. It's a very standard pen made of plastic, but it writes well with a good nib, a cartridge converter pen, and it has this mottled green and black plastic inexpensive but quite good. The next pen is a pen that I bought in that store where I bought the other Conklin, the older Conklin Nozac. I got this one. This is a Reynolds pen. It was an American brand that then was started being produced in France, and I think this example comes from France, and now it's produced in India. It is a very simple pen with Reynolds nib, but the material is green and yellow and looks nice, and it takes cartridge or converter. And I think it's time to go again to the other side of the world, and we go to Japan, and I have this pen. This is the green Pilot Capless. Yes, here in Europe we call it Capless, not Vanishing Point, but it is the same thing. It's just a question of names. And this is the green Carbonesque, or the Kasuri, green Kasuri finish. It is a beautiful pen. I like it a lot, and I like this pattern. I would like to have the full collection of the Carbonesque collection, which means that they have that little pattern there. And now let's go to the brand of which I have more pens as far as I know. And I have here, this is a Parker. This is a Parker Challenger. It is a smaller pen with a very small nib. But it is a nice pen. You don't find lots of line variation, but it is a beautiful pen. I like it. I like this kind of pens from Parker, maybe from the 30s. And then I have a Parker Challenger Deluxe, which is a higher end model, which has a different kind of clip. The black jewel there, the blind cap here. Both are button filler pens, and they have these big chunks of green pearlized material, and I think this material is great. This is one of my favorite pens ever. I restored it. It has 3 cap rings, and this is another one of those pens that have the gold nib that sings on the paper, makes a squeaking noise that I find quite pleasant. And now we'll keep on Parker, and I have here a collection of Parker Duofolds. Let me pick them all together. This one is a Lady Duofold, a smaller pen that had a ring, so it could be attached to a ribbon or something like that. And this is the version with the flat top and a wide cap band and a very small nib. Very nice pen. And I would say the color on this one is not that bad. I have also another one of those. This one has 3 cap bands, and it is from the Streamline version, not from the flat top, but it is the same kind of pen. However, it has a nib that is not made by Parker. I don't know who made this nib, but it's not the same nib as you find on the Parker Duofolds usually. I also have the Junior Duofold that is the same size of the Lady Duofold, but wider. It has a wide cap band. This one is in awful condition. You should have some striated parts here like these. They are not visible anymore. The pen is, the hard rubber is completely lost totally the black it should have. The celluloid here discolored completely, not celluloid but the material of this one discolored completely. The cap has various cracks, and I fill this with a green, very brightish greenish yellow crayon just to have it. The nib has cracks on the bottom, and it's not perfectly aligned, but you know, I like this pen. I think this is a good pen to use, and it is in so bad shape that I really kind of like it. I think it's like, it also deserves to exist, although it's not in the perfect condition. The next pen that I will show is the nice one, the big Parker Senior Duofold. This one is the jade green, also the same color as the others, but you may see this one is the best one in color. This is heavily discolored. This happened to the green version, so there's nothing to do. They are like this. If you find one in good shape, they will be very expensive. And they have this big nib, which is dirty again. I need to clean some of my pens. And the Christmas tree feed. It is a beautiful pen. I really like. Very big. Very nice. The next pens is one pen that is a Parker Vacumatic, which is very similar to the Challenger Deluxe. Similar kind of material, but it is from the Vacumatic series with the arrow-shaped clip, with the arrow engraved on the nib, and this pen needs some work done, and it has the Vacumatic filling system, so you pull this off, then you press it, this produces vacuum, the ink gets inside, then you go back, lock it down, close it with this blind cap, and the pen is ready to write. It has some reddish colors. It is an interesting pen. And we are talking about Vacumatic pens. 3 more Vacumatic pens. This one has 2 cap pens, and it is, I would say this pen has shrinked a little bit. It has a very strange texture. It's like the rings did shrink all the same way. And it has the Vacumatic nib. This is not restored. I have to restore some of these pens, maybe to sell them, because I have too many of these pens. Another Vacumatic one has a wide band instead of the 2 narrow ones, and also the nib that has some dings there. Need to work on them. And this is the only Parker Vacumatic of this regular size that is working, and you can see the nib. The arrow is there. It's not very visible, but it's there. I think it was polished too many times, not by me, but it was. This is in quite good shape, and this works. It has the Vacumatic filling system, but this has the one that is permanently extended, not the one that you have to unlock and extend. This is in working condition. And we jump to modern Parker pens, and I have here, this is also discontinued, this is a Parker Frontier Duotone Green, which is a pen that I would say is on the same kind of design of the Parker 51, but with an exposed nib and very inexpensive, and it is a nice pen with this Duotone Green, and it is a cartridge converter pen. The other Parker that I have, the final Parker, is this one. This is wonderful. This is a Parker Centennial Duofold Green Check. This color is not made anymore. These were diffusion bonded acrylic parts that were bonded again several times and then turned into a pen. I think the material in this one is just beautiful, with this beautiful two-tone nib. This 18-karat gold nib with the ace of spades. This is a beautiful pen, cartridge converter pen, Centennial size, very big, the same size of the Senior Duofold. And let's go for the final 2 pens. This one has the brightest colors of all, and this is the Visconti Breeze Lime Green. It has a magnetic fielding kept system. It has a very small nib, it's a number 5 nib, but it is a nice pen made by Visconti. I got this from Apple Boom. I've seen some reviews of this pen, and sometimes the nibs are not good. I was very lucky because I had a good nib on this one. This is really good. Stephen Brown made a video about his breeze that he got, also from Appleboom, a different color, but the same pen, and he had lots of trouble with the nib. I have a pen, also from the same source, with a very good nib. So I asked Appleboom to buy the pen, and kindly Joost offered me the pen, and so I kept it, and I like it a lot. It is just a flashy pen that you may want to show out someday. And finally, let's stay in Italy, and we go to Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero, and this is the Iride. This is the color. This is the model of 2020, and we know the difference between 2020 and the previous models, because this has 3 cap bands, and it's slightly different. This material is very beautiful, and it is not just green, it's green and blue, but I thought it was green enough to show on this video. And so this is the last pen that I had to show you. I cannot show you all the pens perfectly, but I hope you can have an idea of which green, but not plain green, pens I have. And so this is all. If you have any questions about any pen, or any suggestions or ideas or information, please let me know on the comments. Also, if you have an idea of a video that I could make based on some other pen color, maybe just plain green, not plain green, or if you want to go just over one brand that I have in my collection, or some other kind of sub-collection you may want to see from my pens, please let me know. I'll try to make some more of these videos that are just long and talking about the pens and designs and showing off, and maybe giving you some ideas to go search for pens for your own collections, or maybe to receive some ideas from you to better identify, or maybe to give a new home to some of these pens. I hope you enjoyed this long video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.